So, hello everybody. Welcome to the VHS Wall. This is Mike Pelly, and I'm joined by my two bestest friends in the entire universe.
The galaxy.
The galaxy far away. This is Derek Charm and Jason Lamb. Jason Lamb.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks so much, pal.
We are going to talk about a film that Jason has seen probably about 80 times in his lifetime.
I've seen it 80 times too. I just recently saw it for 30 minutes.
I watched it this morning and I barely even remember what happened. I'm like,
It's not a good movie.
I thought it was a great movie.
And it's so amazing at the same time. So, okay, my experience watching this movie again since I was like 14 or something. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. I was a young age. It was very different than that time.
We watched Battle for Endor as a kid over and over and over. But
so many times.
This new time I watched it, the first thing I noticed was the first thing on the screen after the title is starring Wilford Brimley.
That's a big deal. It's a big guy.
He's the marquee star of this movie.
Quaker Oats and diabetes is what everybody knows him for.
On the back cover of the movie, Ewok heads are used as punctuation.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
What is the synopsis there on the VHS box?
You want me to read it?
Yeah, let's get that real quick. Let's get that on here.
Ever since they first appeared in Return of the Jedi, the lovable, furry little Ewoks have captivated film and fantasy lovers the world over. Now comes a new Ewok adventure, jam-packed with the thrills and cinematic wizardry so identified with the talent of George Lucas, Ewok Head. When an army of evil marauders led by the giant King Tarek, he's not giant, he's tall.
He's not that big yet.
And the cunning companion, the witch Sharel, attacks Ewok village. Young Sindel, Aubrey Miller, and an Ewok named Wicket, Warwick Davis from Willow, escape into the forest. There they befriend Teak, a speedy little ball of fur, and Noah, a crusty but kindly spacefarer, Wilford Brimley, Cocoon. When Sindel is kidnapped, Noah, Wicket, and Teak set out for Tarek's castle fortress, an exciting, heart-thumping adventure. Ewok Head. Lauding the film's lavish production values, superb special effects, clashes of near-epic proportions, and best of all imagination, rampant at every turn. Battle for Endor triumphs as a worthy entrant into the hollowed Star Wars canon Ewok Head.
I was saying earlier that like this film is like the most boring film for the amount of explosions there are in it. And,
I would
like,
imagine the first one's
and,
more
chase
boring, but I
scenes,
don't
like,
know.
I'm excited to talk about... Well, here's the thing, is that usually we have the trailer club segment in the beginning, but this is a STV. It's straight to the movie, so...
No, there's no trailers.
The VHS did not have any trailer.
Not even for Star Wars?
Nothing.
Jam-packed with cinematic wizardry.
Yeah. Just jam-packed with it.
They don't have time for trailer.
So we're going to skip that then. But there's no trailer to talk about.
That's
if there was
too
going to be
bad.
a trailer, if there was a trailer before this, what would you like to see?
It would be for the 3 Star Wars movies and from Star Wars to Jedi.
You want it to be Star Wars related, okay?
It would
Yeah,
be, because
Star
all the
Wars,
ones that we
like,
just watched earlier were...
Christmas special or
That's
yeah,
not
Star
on
Wars.
VHS.
Star Wars to Jedi though is amazing.
It's great.
Yeah.
It shows you how many people were inside of Jabba the Hutt.
I don't want to know how many people were inside of him.
There was 4 guys and then 2 small people in the tail.
That's some work. I mean, I don't really know about the anatomy of a hut, but it sounds very complex.
Before we, I don't really remember the first Ewok movie, which was The Caravan of Courage.
It is in my VHS wall, and I have never seen it. But
it sets up who Sindel and her family are.
That's true, and I do get the gist that they crash landed onto Endor.
Okay.
And obviously they can't escape because Paul Gleason, the father, fucking Paul Gleason is in this film.
Dude, in the first 3 minutes, Sindel's entire family gets murdered.
Okay.
Like, that's just nuts.
Okay, so yeah, let's get into this. Because I guess all that happens in this movie is they crash land on the planet, they fight some monsters, and they learn to love the Ewoks. That's the first one.
Who doesn't love the Ewoks? If you don't love the Ewoks, you're...
I do. Okay, and there's another thing we should discuss before going into this. That it says on Wikipedia that this happens before Return of the Jedi.
Which makes 0 sense to me. It does.
Wicket speaks English.
He's speaking English. He clearly knows what a human looks like. He's not freaked out by the presence of a human, which he was in Return of the Jedi when Leia shows up. She's just like, oh, it's okay. And he's just like, I'm going to kill you with this little sticky.
And then they worship our C-3PO as a god.
Yeah, they're just very confused.
And they don't speak English ever in that movie.
No, they don't.
But in
know
this,
that.
he speaks clear English to Sindel. He says, "I don't want you to leave."
So I brought this up earlier in an earlier conversation,
Yeah.
but it's not English, it's Galactic Common.
Right.
Let's get that right.
Here we go. Yeah.
Galactic
Jason Lamb
Common.
is our Star Wars expert.
But maybe Wicket just has like selective memory because from this movie and all of his experiences, it's pretty traumatic for this little teddy bear.
Jub Jub.
The little chub chub.
Is that Warwick Davis who does his voice or no?
You know what? I don't know, but I know that Warwick Davis is Wicket in this film. He
As
did reprise
lo-
his Wicket role.
He's also Willow Offgood.
Of course.
It's Warwick.
Oh, is it Warwick, not Warwick?
Warwick.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking Galactic Common, and it might not sound the same.
Yeah, the translation's a little bit off.
So, okay, let's just start from the beginning of this film. First thing I have on my notes is, holy shit, Paul Gleason is in this movie. Obviously, I did not see the first one, so I was just really excited to see the principal from Breakfast Club there.
Oh, God,
But
that's where he's from.
That's where he's from, and he's actually he has passed away fairly recently.
Well, long live
Long
Paul
live
Gleason.
what's the dad's name in this movie? I don't know.
This is dedicated to him.
Yeah,
Dedicated.
this is
Does he die in the opening scene, or
Yes,
just the brother and mom?
So at the very beginning of the movie, he's trying to fix up the ship. Sindel and Wicket are having a fucking party in the
and
forest.
she's dressed like she just finished working out in the 80s, and then like her brother is dressed like a Luke
Looks like
Skywalker
he's got, like, a little
cosplayer.
workout outfit.
Yeah, he's got the headband.
E.T. haircut.
What
going on.
planet are they from? Do we know?
No, I don't
One of
know
the
about that.
outer rim planets.
Probably in the outer rim. But they are trying to fix up their ship to get the hell off Endor, and they are attacked by garbage men.
By Skeletors.
Yeah, by Skeletors, like weird.
A whole
80s
bunch
Wearing
of Skeletors.
garbage.
Right.
The main bad guy shows up right at the very beginning with like all of his henchmen burning the Ewok village. The first thing when I saw his face, I was just like, his face looks like a prune.
Well, he's wearing a mask that looks just like his face, and he takes it off, and it looks.
That's amazing,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
Oh, but
What
yeah,
is the
right.
point
Yeah,
of that?
first he's wearing a mask.
It looks exactly like his face, and he takes it off, and he looks the same underneath.
So he looked like a butthole, very old one. And during this battle, Sindel keeps looking at her watch, which shows.
Well, it has a lifeline for
It
her
has a
mother,
lifeline,
and her
so
mom is dying. Her family's dying on her arm one
Why
at
are
a
you
time.
wearing these watches that tell you if your family's alive or
Oh,
not?
it's a Fitbit, but for like family health, right?
But it's good because
just
you
like-
know if your family's doing okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just thought it was just like, oh, just so you know, your brother is still alive because the light's on.
Yeah, and Dad hasn't.
But your
been,
mom's not doing so.
Dad
well.
hasn't been moving around. Like you need to go
when it's
remind him
blinking,
to
that means they're
exercise.
getting weaker. Like it's like their heart.
The life is like going from your mother. She's the green light.
Oh, I want to know.
Well, okay,
exactly
but that watch had like 4 buttons built into it. So like, if they had a baby, would they have to get new watches?
He's
Yes.
fitted for a watch. Yeah.
Okay, so then there's a bird version of Elvira that shows up, and she's like
a witch,
a-
but she twists that ring on her finger and turns into a bird.
That's the thing, is these guys have no backstory.
No, isn't the idea that they crash land on this planet and they need like the power to get off of it?
But they have a sweet castle. They built a castle. They must have been there for centuries.
I thought, okay, what's the power they're looking for? I thought it was
It's a goddamn battery.
the battery from their ship.
That battery, yeah, the battery they took from Sindel's father.
It's just a can of Red Bull. They don't really know how to figure it out. I think it's really interesting. So there's this witch named, was it Charl or Charel or something
Yeah.
that. According to like the script or the lore, she's like a night sister.
Oh, she is. So she's from the same planet as Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's from Dathomir.
Nice. Yeah.
And, you know, they're like super powerful Sith witches with their like alchemy, and they ride around Rancors for a living. I don't know what the fuck they do.
But they all got
But,
killed
like-
by Count Dooku, right? So she's survived that?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how that works. She's
And then
like
she ended up with these
supposedly-
Skeletors on Endor.
She's like subservient to the weird gorilla face thing in this. I'm just like, why? You're like basically like a super powerful dark side user. Why are you bowing down to this shitty grunting dude? I don't know.
Do we ever get a backstory on Monkey Skeletor?
No, we get zero from any of this, and it's just like you just got to take care of these bad guys now.
Well, sure. I mean, maybe because this situation just came up out of nowhere, and you just got to take care of it, and you can't ask questions. But I don't think the Ewoks asked questions when the Empire was there building their deflector dish.
Oh boy, this movie does not even talk about anything Star Wars related.
Well, because
at all.
Endor is just a forest moon. Like they don't have anything to do with anything until they do.
Right.
And,
But
you know, if Charles is also a Night Sister, and they're like, if you're going off this expanded universe fiction, like they were sent to Dathomir, like they were exiled there, and that means they went there on ships. They know technology. They know how it works. Like, why does she not figure this out? Like,
Has she been on Endor for a long time?
Like,
Is she not in the?
whole movie?
Here's the question: Is she not in the Caravan of Courage? I don't.
Which?
No, she's not.
Also, Sindel's brother is a butt face.
Does he die?
He doesn't. His face doesn't literally look like a butt, but like
Okay.
if I looked at somebody and was like, "You're a butt face," he definitely has.
He
it.
looks
he's got a leathery face.
He's got a Luke Skywalker look going
I
on.
think
He has a
that's why
Mark
they killed
Hamill
him.
look,
Yeah, it's.
and he's wearing like the orange and so. Her whole family gets murdered by
that's the thing,
Skeletor
is that
monkeys.
She just first she watches her brother get her mom's already dead. She shows up back to camp. Her mom's dead.
Yeah.
Her brother's just like, go get dad,
And I love,
and
like,
then
right
watches
before
him
this-
blow up. And then she just watched her dad die.
And right before this, it's her and Wicket walking around being like, "Oh, we're having so
We're
much
having
fun
the
and
best
life
summer,
is great
picking
and
goddamn
beautiful."
cherries.
Yeah.
We are gonna maybe climb a tree. Who knows? And then boom, all your family gone. And then witch lady shows up, and you have these. Okay, this is the thing.
These claymation dinosaurs are fucking awesome.
These claymation
Can I swear in
dinosaurs.
this?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's they look like giant potatoes. with
They look cool.
mouths.
They look like Star Wars monsters. It's fine. I like it. And I like that they put them into these giant rib cages to take them back to their castle.
little prison, which you can escape from no problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
so-
when they are in this caravan or like this prison made of like rib cage or whatever,
It's not the Caravan of Courage.
They open a floorboard, and only like Wicket and Sindel can fit through it because they're like tiny or whatever. But it was just like, you know, you could work a little bit harder and like lift up an extra board to like fit the rest of your crew through there.
And right in the center of the rib cage there's a door at the
Yeah.
bottom of it, and they open it and
too
escape
small.
it.
Yeah, like how do you?
Okay, so I think we should talk about the Ewoks cartoon for 1 second.
Okay.
Because apparently a lot of these
Which
characters
I
are
forgot
from that.
existed. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I think it's a great idea for a cartoon, and it like shows that there's other animals besides Ewoks on Endor that have like weird civilizations, like those big goblin monsters. And what's it called?
Wait,
Teak.
Teak.
Oh my God.
This flash.
We're not
She's
quite there
basically
yet,
like a
Speedster.
little
We're not
tiny-
there yet, but we'll get there.
But apparently this takes place after the Ewoks cartoon and before Return of the Jedi.
It still doesn't make any sense.
Do
to
you
me.
feel like the Ewoks cartoon was sort of like a Care Bear?
It was
analog or
okay, but
something like that?
I could see how it could be good, but I just cannot make it more than 5 minutes into an episode.
It's so irritating.
Their voices
Like,
are all
they're the
irritating,
worst.
and
Yeah.
like the animation's kind of crappy comparatively to
Which is
today.
why it didn't last. Like, if even kids probably found it annoying.
And there's like a weird like rock intro, like E-rock.
E-Rock,
E-Rock.
E-Rock intro?
But
Which
but
is
apparently like
nuts.
all of these characters are in the cartoon. Like the chief of the Ewoks and Wicket, obviously.
I guess I'm coming at this a little bit uneducated because I did not watch the Ewok Adventure. I did not watch the cartoons. I'm watching this standing alone. As
But you
it
saw
is.
Return of the Jedi, and that should be all
So-
you need.
So why did you
Yeah,
start
exactly,
with
and it was all I needed when I was a kid. I didn't feel like I had to watch the other ones.
No,
I
no, no.
actually watched this one
So
because
why did you start with the second one though?
This was the one they used to show on Disney Channel and
this
stuff.
was always on TV.
They would
and when I
never
was
show
a
that
kid,
first one.
My cousin like taped it when I was a kid, and I would just
Uh-huh.
watch it all the time, and it was just enough. I didn't need any more
Yeah.
than this.
The first one I think is like far superior as a film.
The
Even
first
though,
Ewok
like,
movie?
So they actually like, so the first one they filmed it in the back lot of like Skywalker Ranch, where it's like a bunch of like dead grass. There's no trees like anywhere, just a bunch of like shrubs. And then just like you were supposed to be in this huge like redwood forest, right? And at least in this one they got that right.
But maybe all of Endor doesn't look like that. It's a forest moon. Never mind.
It's a forest moon.
The entire
And like
thing
Star
is
Wars'
just,
whole
like-
thing is that every planet has one ecosystem.
Exactly, it's ice,
Yeah.
it's jungle, it's
You're
desert.
a desert,
like-
yeah.
And then like where the castle is for the main bad guy is in this weird tundra where like for miles
His
around,
name is King Tarek.
King Tarek. So for King Tarek's castle, you don't see trees for miles around. I'm just like, where the fuck is this in this ecosystem?
Yeah.
Like, you're like in the middle of a desert, basically. Where this
So
castle
these
is.
monsters crash landed on Endor, and they built a castle, or are they native to Endor?
Well, that would just make more sense because I don't know their backstory.
Okay, wait. Look at Wicket's face. He looks like a psychopath. Like he's got like buck teeth. His eyes are pointing in two different directions,
He never blinks.
and like
He never ever blinks.
he
It's so
well, obviously he
creepy.
can't. I was watching Return of the Jedi earlier this morning, and my favorite part is where Leia picks up Wicket and puts him on the ground.
It's
Just
cute.
like a little
It's
teddy
adorable.
bear.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a teddy bear.
Uh,
He's like, Jim, Jim.
and Sindel can't really pick him up because she's the size of him. So they escape the rib cage. They have two dum-dums that like try to like shoot at them and can't catch up with them. They kind of like commit suicide by shooting at the cave and the rocks kill them.
It's because they're dum-dums.
They're dum-dums. And then
the Wicket building a glider, so they like when they escape, like he builds a glider. Like where did he get the skin? So I think like even in the synopsis, it's like a skin glider or something like that.
Yeah.
Did he just go kill and tan a bunch of?
Well, these guys,
animals that would, like,
these
last a couple
and
of
these
weeks
are
to build this
these
shit?
are like wild teddy bears that like survive on this planet by
that's
killing
exactly
and
the
eating.
thing.
Like
these are vicious
yeah,
animals. These
they
Ewoks.
look cute, but they are fucking. Like, as you see when they try to kill Leia in the first one, like they are like vicious animals, and they set that trap that catches Han and Luke and the
Yeah.
robots.
But you have like the voice of Wicket is like kitty, like a child's
Sped up English, basic, galactic common.
Yeah, very.
He's supposed
creepy.
to be a child, like he's the youngest.
He's
of
like
the
a
tribe or
teenager.
whatever. Yeah, but like, how can you tell like him apart from any of the elders or like any other?
Well, I think because he acts younger. And what is this? He's just woken up. He's woken up a giant dragon.
He's woken up a giant dragon that he didn't see sleeping in front of him that he pulled the bone from.
Great. I like these stop motion monsters in it though. It's cool.
The stop motion's
Yeah, the stop
pretty
motion's
pretty
really good,
awesome.
yeah.
And this is not a theatrical movie.
Yeah,
This
the
is
TV movie.
This was TV
I'd
movie.
be goddamn impressed if I was back in the day. Back in 1984.
1985.
Okay, 4 was the other one.
Get it right.
Get it right.
God.
Get it right.
Get your 80s straight.
What has Aubrey Miller done since this movie?
This was her last film in her career.
So the first film was the first Ewok movie, and her last film was the second Ewok movie.
Correct.
Okay.
She's not terrible in this.
Right.
She's kind of watchable. It's okay. I wouldn't expect you to like want to quit acting after this,
The only
but
thing
whatever.
she's doing now is like the con circuit, right? It's
No,
like-
yeah.
Well, okay, so I was
imagine,
reading that George Lucas's influence for this was Heidi, about
Heidi?
like a girl living with an old
Oh.
man in the wilderness,
And that makes sense with the hair.
which is why he killed off her whole family in the very beginning,
Oh my god.
because he was like, "This is going to be about a girl and a
Okay,
family."
look.
So
okay,
now they're
th-
flying.
This dragon attacked the girl. She has to be traumatized by this point. She just watched all of her family die today. Now she's been swept away by a dragon.
But I'm saying like she's from a planet and she's gone through space. I'm sure they have like a higher tolerance for like shit. And she's also been living with teddy bears for like a while.
So the next thing you get is a little tiny miniature Bigfoot that can run super fast.
He looks like shit. I hate his face.
Is creepy.
I get that. Look at that right there.
He's like, I'm so sweet. Don't worry about me.
It's like little puppy dog eyes, buck teeth, and an old wrinkly man face and a weird smile. But he runs really fast like the Flash.
And his laugh is just like insane. It's just he like laughs hard.
The character's name is Teak.
It's like, what's worse than an Ewok? How about this?
So the character's
we got
name is
that.
Teak, and Teak is basically like Yoda, where there is only one of them. It's like Teak of the race of Teak. You
Is
just, like-
Yoda of the race of Yoda?
It's like calling your dog dog. Yeah, like there's no name. Like it's an
I
unspecified
thought.
race.
If
They
I-
never-
Tangent, real quick. I thought in the Phantom Menace there was another Yoda on the Jedi Council.
No, they cut that out at the last minute, so it never made it to the theatrical.
Oh,
release.
okay, but I've seen pictures.
But there's pictures of like the
Okay.
female
Yeah.
version of Yoda.
That's. I don't want to imagine a whole planet full of those frog people. Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy hybrids.
That'd be intense.
So
But-
I was just thinking earlier, like, imagine if there's this whole race of this like teak
Teak.
thing out there that were evil. Like, if you're moving as fast as the Flash, like so you think about like the Flash from like DC Comics, where he can like vibrate through walls and like
Yeah.
vibrate through people's like organs and guts, like. They would just like spread like a virus and just like decimate everything, just like going through and like blasting through Ewoks. Like,
Well, they must have a small population. It
Terrifying.
seems to me that Ewoks are the primary population of Endor, and then there's like smaller groups.
Yeah.
Because you
Right.
mostly see
That moved
Ewoks.
really
So there's like a
fast.
few of these guys.
I feel like this is just an involved Ewok.
that raises a lot of questions. And like I feel like Star Wars doesn't deal with science that way.
It's just it's more like take it for
It's
what
like
it is.
fantasy enchanted forest. let's not think too deeply.
So-
Go ahead.
I was just gonna. Okay, so they find this hut
Yeah, it's like,
And-
of course it's abandoned.
and
Like,
they start making like muffins and soup, and the little Flash thing is just like, this is cool, but I live here and I know that my master's gonna hate you guys and probably want to kill you. And Noah is this
Oh,
old
Noah's
guy.
the- yeah.
Who is Wilford Brimley? How did he end up on Endor?
He and his friend, I don't know the name of his friend,
His
crash
boyfriend?
landed in Endor a long time ago. All he says is it was a long time ago.
I bet he has no concept of time at this point.
Exactly. And they couldn't leave because their battery broke
The power.
and they needed a new battery. So his friend went off and got lost and no one ever saw him again. So he's been like in the trees.
Did he
and-
become King Tarek? Or am I reading?
No,
something
no.
psycho
King
into this?
Tarek, he captured his friend who was wandering looking for a new battery and chained him up and was just like, give me a battery. And he's like, I don't have a battery. And then just eternal suffering.
Sex slave.
So, like, maybe it's like a Scooby-Doo moment where King Tarek, like, pulls off the mask that is his face, and then he pulls off his face, and it's really Noah.
Yeah, because he's got a mask that looks just like it. But then there's all the other goblins to worry about.
there's a lot
I
of
thought they
goblins
were
to
like
worry
monkey... whatever-
Skeletors.
Monkey Skeletors.
I love the scene. So he kicks them out of his house. He's like, get the hell out of here. I don't fucking want you here. And he goes to his stove and he sees that they made muffins and soup. And he's just like, great.
And he serves it to himself,
He serves
and
it
then
to
he starts
himself.
eating it.
Exactly. He's just like, do you want some? Oh, yeah, great.
He's so... Like the actor inside of the teak suit is so blind that it's just like reaching for the muffins.
Is Teak worse than Jar Jar Binks,
He's
or
just like,
just the same? That face is the worst thing I've ever seen.
I would still take Tink over Jar Jar. I would do that.
Jar Jar's wonderful.
I can't get on board that train.
Misa loved Jar Jar.
He did it.
So what do you? So this guy lives with him as a pet, Teak.
I think Teak. Well, for a while, I thought that Teak was actually on the plane with them when they crashed, because they have a relationship, and
I think he just likes them because they're little.
at
Like
the end of the film, spoiler alert, Tink knows how to like shoot the guns on the ship and shit like that. I thought
Right.
he was kind of like a mini Chewbacca to
so
that
is he
guy.
maybe not native to Endor, and he just showed up with this guy?
Well, I think it's revealed later that he actually is a native.
Oh, he
Teak-
is.
Teak
Are there
is.
more Teaks?
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm talking
apparently
like I've never
It's
seen this.
Teak of the race of Teak. I have no idea if there's more.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about a planet, it's a pretty
Sure.
big place. There's
It's-
probably a lot
yeah.
of species here.
It's a moon. It's a moon, Derek. It's a forest moon.
But a moon's still big. It still like can hold a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
It makes sense that he's from there, but it also makes sense he's from space. Who cares?
Wicket burns his butt, and Sindel laughs at him. He's met like a human female before and been really close to her, but he's still super suspicious of Leia.
So creepy.
Those psychotic, unblinking eyes,
like
those buck teeth.
He's just got like. I
She's
don't
like,
know.
Wicket, I
You
trust you.
don't-
He's looking like he's gonna eat her.
You don't want that creeping up on your little girl at all.
So in the beginning of the movie,
Yes.
when they're in the ribcage prison car.
Oh my God, rib cage is the name of that thing.
What?
It's a rib cage.
That's what
Oh, very good, sir.
And it's like, yeah.
Fully armed and operational
But-
ribcage.
It's fully armed and operational rib cage.
it is. Ribcage. You sound like the Joker from 1966.
How did Wilford Brimley, I mean Noah, get so large, like living in the forest? Like what?
He was eating Ewoks.
Yeah, it's like, what is he eating that gets him that huge? You know, where he has to worry about his like forced.
He probably ate the rest of the
testing
Teaks. He ate Teak's family.
And Teak is so dumb that.
So now he's taking off all his clothes and going to bed.
And he like invites Teak back to the bed.
And Teak has his own pull-out mattress on the floor.
Well,
Well, okay, what made Teak and him be friends, but he won't be friends with anybody else? Unless he came with him like a little Chewbacca. Is that your idea?
That's what I thought the whole time.
I hate his face so much.
So we get the reveal about his friend when Wicket and Sindel follow him to his ship, and
Right.
he's very unconcerned about her and her life and her family.
Yeah, absolutely. Does not care.
He just is like, whatever.
It's probably because he's lost so much that he doesn't want to get attached to anyone else.
There you go.
Like he lost his partner, his
Terry.
lover,
That's
who
a
he
very-
crashed with, and he lost the rest of the teaks, which he ate.
You
And
do feel as a human being.
I recognize feeling when I see it, but he does like. But he's also bonding right now, and these horrible puppets are watching them with their glazed, glassy eyes.
The gallery of puppets. Maybe he actually gave his friend up.
I don't know. That's very.
to
Let's
dark.
talk-
Skeletor monkeys. Like he could have done that, and like he just feels really guilty about it. He's like, oh, I'm never gonna have contact again.
Let's talk about this scene where she's sleeping and hears her mom singing. It wakes her up,
Right.
and then
Dead
just
mother.
stumbles outside, and then she sees the white angel.
Okay, so I feel like this is a very big scene in 80s movies. In the Masters of the Universe movie, the same thing happens. Where Courtney Cox's mom is singing and then she turns into Evelyn. I think this is a classic 80s witch move.
Here's another humanoid. There's a humanoid witch, a white witch, living on this planet. So they had to have had contact with.
It fucks up. It could easily take place after Return of the Jedi. I don't see why it couldn't. Unless the.
Yeah, why is
I
it-
have heard a theory that all of the shrapnel from the Death Star fell into the orbit of Endor and destroyed the whole planet.
That's probably some EU shit, but
I'm saying,
I'll
like,
note
scientifically
that.
speaking. But I doubt that happened because it's very dark. And they also had a party there right after it in Return of the Jedi, so it's probably okay. They have a party there. They sing Jub Jub.
But like maybe they were partying because it was like the last party before the shrapnel like falls.
That's
to
dark.
the
We won't
planet.
know until episode 7
We won't know until
if
then.
all
That's
the
true.
Ewoks were killed.
Um,
But anyway, this could easily take place after, and these people just crashed here after.
she gets captured and gets taken to the castle,
By the
and
witch.
that's when this king is like, "Hey, so we've got this spaceship battery. I'm gonna put it in front of you, and you turn it on."
And Sindel does not know how that works.
Because you can't turn you don't turn batteries on. You plug them in.
Batteries don't turn on.
And she's trying to explain that to him, but he's so stupid. He doesn't understand the concept of what a battery is. He's just
They
like,
must be native to Endor. Unless they're like in Thundercats, how like Mum-Ra and his goblins
Yeah.
crashed there in the past. And they've been there so long that they are just like people that don't belong there but are just there.
they're just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be many things. They don't care to explain any of that. So that's
I'm
cool.
interested to know though.
It's just here's a battery, and how do you turn it on? I want the power. He keeps saying it's the power.
I was saying earlier that like this film is like the most boring film for the amount of explosions there are in it. And,
I would
like,
imagine
special
the
effects
first one's
and,
more
chase
boring, but I
scenes,
don't
like-
know.
You know,
I wish they kept
30
making
minutes.
Ewok movies. It's kind of
Just keep going with it.
I love that the Ewoks just took off on their own. Like they thought people were
They
so
were the
interested
first-
in
this
Ewoks.
was they were the first Star Wars spin-off movies.
But like, why would anyone be this interested? No one is this interested in Ewoks, but they were like pushing it so hard.
Because George Lucas was just like, toys, 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 toys. Hell yeah! I really want you guys to love Ewoks because that way you can buy like live, like regular size Ewoks and sleep with them at night.
So wait, why does Charles get locked up again?
I don't
a
know.
wild animal.
He doesn't know that it's a battery that you can't turn on. You have to plug it into something. And she's like trying to explain that to him, and he's
Where
just
did
like,
he
"Go
get
to
the
jail."
idea? Where did he get the idea that there's a power out there somewhere that he could use?
He got the idea from the partner guy that Noah was with, and he went off to go find a new battery, and then ran into Turok and told Turok, "Hey, look,
Turok.
don't kill me. Don't."
I'm looking for a power to get off this planet.
You don't
No,
have to
no.
find Turok.
I just don't get where he got in his idea in his head that there's a power that he needs.
Because Noah's friend was told Turok when he got captured, he said, "Look, if you let me live, I will give you a battery that glows, and it's the power of the stars." The witch lady in the prison scene is talking to Sindel.
Sindel.
Sindel. And Sindel's just like, Sindel says, "Why does he want this battery? You just plug it into a ship." And she's like, "It just powers up a ship." And she said, "Yeah, the power of the stars." It's like so dumb.
So they're all
she does
idiots.
not have a concept. It's a goddamn battery.
So, I mean, clearly,
But this is the kind of
like,
bullshit that was going on Endor before the Emperor showed up. So like,
yeah. Noah goes to find Sindel at the evil castle, and they finally get there, and Wicket's just like, don't go into the water, because I thought for a second maybe it was acid lake. It was like an acid lake that surrounded the castle, but I guess it's like a monster that's in there, but you never see it.
Well, they don't have the budget to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're just trying to, which is sometimes
They
I
can
feel
just
like
tell you.
it's better that way.
Well, it's like in Smallville where they just have conversations about what happened and never actually show it.
Are you really bringing Smallville into this?
Is it a Rancor?
Actually,
What planet are the Rancors from? Are they from Endor?
I thought they were from Dathomir.
Are they? That
Yeah.
planet's fucked. They're from Dathomir. So Dathomir is like a nightmare planet.
Totally. That's why you would exile people there.
Right.
But
So
That's-
the
that's
Night
a good-
Sisters aren't native to Dathomir? They were exiled there?
I'm pretty sure that they were. But
Is that
I
the
don't-
same for the Darth Mauls?
I don't quote me on it.
Which
but
I don't know
yeah,
what they're
like,
called. Okay.
yeah.
No, I'll quote you on it.
This part where they totally have like the stacked.
Yeah, they dress up like an adult. They like stack on top of each other. They crash into the wall. It's so fucking great. Like anytime this actually happens is amazing. And the bad
and
guys
they're
fall
so-
for it
so
because they're
fucking
stupid
dumb.
monkeys.
They don't even notice this person like climbing out. Yeah.
You know how they talk to each other? Let's talk to each other like those guys in there.
That's
They're
their
just-
language. You don't
That's
know.
their grunt language. They have grunt language.
That's Star Wars
racist,
language.
man.
That's called Galactic Uncommon, and they all use it on this planet.
In the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
when the village is on fire and it's getting attacked by these guys, is that the Ewok village?
Yeah.
That's the Ewok village. So they captured all the Ewoks, right?
Yeah.
And the Ewoks are at this prison.
So Wicket is the only
And-
one that got away.
Right. But when they're doing the prison escape, there are like 10 Ewoks. It's like the entire race of Ewoks consists of 10.
Where do they all come from? Yeah.
The rest escaped into the trees.
No, I think this is it.
There were 10
I
Ewok
think there's- I
costumes.
think
Okay,
there's 10
imagine
Ewoks-
that there were more.
10 Ewoks in this, 10 Ewoks in Return of the Jedi.
No, because they have that big party and there's a ton of Ewoks there. And a bunch die, that one explodes and dies on screen, and there's like a ton of Ewoks.
Oh no. I guess if this is before Return of the Jedi, they've had enough time to, fuck around and repopulate. So that was just one thing I was going to say. I thought it was strange that there's only 10
Can I
of
ask you a
them.
question? Why did you pick this movie?
I picked this movie because I used to watch this at my cousin's house when I was a kid and loved it. I would watch it on repeat. Sometimes I would watch it twice in a row.
I would watch
And
it just because we didn't have Star Wars, and it was like the next best thing.
Right,
But
right.
it's like on its own.
And
I
I
don't know
wanted
that
to
it
watch
stands
this.
up.
I wanted to watch this because I found the VHS at Value Village and wanted to revisit it. And I think that it's important to figure out why it was so appealing to me as a kid.
It was appealing because it was tangentially Star Wars related, but I remember
Right.
being kind of disappointed that there was nothing actually Star Wars related in it except for
Right.
Ewoks.
Okay, so it never actually says whether or not the Night Sisters were exiled or like whether they were native to Dathomir, but again, like being humanoids, unless they just happened to evolve on all these planets, I can assume they're from another planet. But yeah, like that's as far as we know, they always lived there.
But they get
So
wiped
I was
out in the
definitely
Clone
wrong.
Wars animated series, which is why they're not around after that.
They get
Yeah.
wiped out?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Ewoks.
No,
It was the Ewoks.
the Night Sisters.
They like
Oh.
came on a mission of revenge. They figured out how to use the power, flew to Dathomir, killed all the Night Sisters for tricking them.
So I read that
Whoa.
originally the Return of the Jedi was supposed to be about a Wookiee planet, but I think the Ewoks is better than
I
Wookiees.
agree. I
Because
agree with
it's weirder.
And look at this. The
It's
clay.
much weirder. Yeah.
And look at those dinosaur feet.
The dinosaur is cool looking, but that guy that's
Potato.
that's
the
Demon
potato
looks
poop
like shit.
monster. I think this is the best part of the film.
Well, this
Derek,
is very close to Return of the Jedi,
Oh, the fight. Yeah,
where
exactly.
they take down like a more powerful bad guy by their like guerrilla tactics. That was great.
That's everyone ever. There's some Benny Hill shit.
Like some sped up dinosaur running.
Again, they did an amazing job with the stop motion effects in this.
They did.
Yeah, like when the dinosaur like growls and its eyes like pop out. Like, how did they do that? That's cool.
Movie magic.
It's pretty magic.
Wow, that's brutal. Like,
Yeah, they're murdering teddy bears. They're like murderous teddy bears, which is what's genius about it. And like, if the cartoon was allowed to show them murdering people, I feel like it would have been much better
Right.
because it's Care Bears, but they kill
Yeah, exactly.
And they fucking eat flesh, and they're animals, but they dress in cute little hoods.
Wicket definitely has the Care Bear stare, whatever that is.
He's got a stare. He's got he's seen too much in his short life.
So the ending of this movie is probably the most exciting for me because they go back to Noah's ship and it's straight up New Hope vibes where they are like in the Millennium Falcon at the gun cockpits. And they're starting to shoot
turrets.
at the dummy bad guys in that sort of New Hope way, which is fun.
Don't get too cocky.
Yeah. And we'll get to the final like the big death scene of the bad guy at the end in a
So
second.
she knows how to use a gun.
Yeah, if you're like a spacefaring family, like you'd probably train your kids at an early age to man the turrets.
She's handling her family being all murdered very well.
They got over it real fast. Well, I've got Wicket in this.
She's like, I got a teddy bear and an old man and a speed demon, and what else do you need? This is cool though.
I like the gun. That's a really cool looking.
It's very
like,
Star Wars.
It's very Star Wars, and it fits. I don't know. I feel like this should be canon. I mean,
Who
it's
cares?
not,
It's canon. It's a fucking movie, and you could watch it, so it means it's real.
It's real. It actually happened.
Fuck
in a
you,
galaxy
Disney.
far,
You can't
far
tell me
away.
what I can and cannot watch.
You put this on that it really happened before. This is how they were able to take down the Empire because they've taken down these Skeletor monkeys
This is how
before.
they figured out how to use the walkers in Return of the Jedi.
Maybe,
right?
yeah.
It's like,
Oh, because they do seem to be like aware of how to use
They're
technology.
just like, oh, they're
Wait,
just
do
pressing a
they
bunch of
use
buttons.
the
Nah.
walkers?
Yeah, they do. They like hop in. They like throw a stormtrooper.
You
out.
guys need to stop
And they
convincing
take over
yourselves that
Walker.
this movie came out before Return of the Jedi.
It's what Wikipedia
That is
says, and I
not
believe it.
someone's.
It came out after, but it takes place before.
Yeah.
Because I bet Endor became like a pretty big deal after Return of the Jedi because it's where the
weird.
final battle. It probably had a museum in it and everything.
It's true.
Wicket probably his family probably got murdered.
A war museum.
Yeah.
Like where they have all the stormtrooper helmets and like display that they turn into bongos.
Yeah, the Jub Jub Museum.
So the big.
Or the Gunda, as they say in like the first film. Which are you going to cover the first film? Are you gonna
No.
like watch that and like do that?
No, tell us about it because I don't know anything about it.
'Cause
The
there-
Gorax is in it. And I do know the Gorax is a thing.
The Gorax is great, but like there's this thing where they like say the Gunda all the time in the first one, which means like good. This is the good shit.
The Gunda.
And it just like sounds like they're dealing drugs constantly, and like Gunda, Gunda.
Gunda. All right, so there's a big showdown at the very end. This is my favorite part of the movie because it kind of almost channels that Obi-Wan and Vader from New Hope scene.
But like dialed down to 4.
Exactly. And here's the thing. So you have a butthole-faced monster versus fat old guy.
Versus Wilford Brimley.
And look at this. So they're about to go, like, battle. I was watching this, and what the fuck if he pulled out a lightsaber? And the whole time he was a Jedi.
No, what I like about this movie is that it doesn't deal with the Jedi stuff at all because it's a big universe and the Jedi are not everywhere.
I know, I was
especially
just-
right
I
now.
need less of the Jedi.
They're almost
as far as
nowhere.
expanded universe
Yeah.
fiction goes.
It
Like,
just in my mind, I just if I saw that the whole time he's keeping it a secret that he's a Jedi and all that, that would have been crazy.
I feel like this
But
is
I do
just
like
not about
this.
that. I like that this is a separate entire story, like in the Star Wars
old,
universe.
Portly Ewok eating Jedi.
He's definitely been eating Ewok.
Okay,
Fueled,
so
they can't
here's
actually
here's
procreate.
here's a good topic of discussion.
What the hell's happening?
What the hell's happening? He took the witch's ring. He took the witch's ring. It turned in his hand, and it turned him to goddamn stone. It's like, okay, so I guess the ring is only made for witches.
Maybe. It's not made for monkey Skeletors at all.
But what's hilarious is there's zero explanation about this ring. But it's what kills the main bad guy, and we don't
Yeah.
know anything about it.
So the witch had her revenge, but she's still stuck in prison forever.
Wait, isn't that
She's
her
gonna
as a
die of
bird?
starvation.
Yeah, she's the bird
Oh,
now.
not even
She-
stone. It just like fries him. It's like that scene from
Yeah.
Batman '89.
Where he's like, I'm glad you're dead.
I'm glad you're dead.
That's what Wicked's actually saying right now. I'm
Uh,
glad you're dead. You always were a son of a bitch.
This is awesome. The bad guy is just stone, and they look at them. They look at him like
And then
they're-
they all walk away.
It's,
Oh,
it's,
that's cool. Now they gotta have the celebratory celebratory party.
Okay,
the 10
there's a
Ewoks
moon, by the way.
with the 10 Ewoks that are there.
From Endor, you see a moon. So are there several
There's
moons?
a moon of a moon.
Is
of a
Endor the
moon.
name of the planet that the moon? Circles?
So what is it? It's like the fourth moon of Endor or something like that.
See, I thought they were saying the forest moon of Endor.
Oh.
But it could be the fourth moon. I don't know.
It's like...
So is Endor the name of the system, or is Endor or the planet that has all these moons around it, or is Endor the name of the moon? This is terrible. I don't even know why I'm asking this. Never
No,
mind.
no.
I don't fucking
The
care.
more we talk about, the better. That way I can edit it all together.
Edit this out because I am embarrassed I even edited
No,
this.
don't
We're
worry.
so-
Just talk about whatever you want.
We're so used to reading like comic books and like weird comic book continuity from like the big two.
That like no one thought this through.
Yeah,
It's
they
a
explain everything. They like eventually get around to explaining like where all this shit comes from. And it's like we want that. We want somebody.
Do
to tell
you
us.
think Wilford Brimley and Teak have been doing sexual things to each other?
doing sex?
I've been doing sex with each other.
I
Do you think his little speediness is sort of help with his little hands?
His little tiny. Hands.
He's been putting that together. Look how they're looking at each other right now.
Oh, they're just gonna.
Look at
But see, this is why it's
So
it's showing.
terrifying.
He met Teak on Endor,
right,
so that's why he's leaving without him. He's gonna take the little girl with him.
right. And then so are there further adventures? You know the expanded universe. Do they ever mention these characters again?
Oh no, never.
Noah and Sindel are done.
I'm pretty sure they're.
This is it.
done.
This is it.
Done. Done.
They're
done.
Yeah.
they are dumbed down.
Also, I apologize for my like weird Night Sisters history with the whole like.
No,
mix-up
I'm
thing,
glad
but
you
I don't,
had
like,
it.
I don't. It's probably from playing the Star Wars Galaxies MMORPG that had its own storyline for Dathomir.
Can you play as an Ewok in that game?
No, unfortunately, you cannot.
Can you play as a Teak?
You remember how you could play in GoldenEye 64? You could play Odd Job.
As an Ewok.
Is it?
Well,
Let's mod in
it would make sense.
an
But
Ewok
it's-
into GoldenEye. Probably already happened.
Aw. Oh my god.
She is not happy to be leaving Endor, but good thing she did because shit is about to get real there.
No, maybe she is really happy. She's just like,
Look at-
oh, fuck all of you. I'm so glad to be done with you.
Also,
I have a
another
hand.
another point as to why this is not before Return of the Jedi.
is before.
Where the hell is Teak in Return of the Jedi?
He's
they
died.
could use a Teak in Return of the Jedi.
It's true. It's true. It's,
He would be very helpful.
Yeah, they would. The Empire wouldn't
So-
even know it hit him. He's moving so fast.
So, end of the movie, she and Noah fly off into space. Everything's good, and we never hear from them again. Fine,
that
whatever.
seems crazy to me. I feel like in this Star Wars universe where everyone has too much backstory, they must have come up again.
I would be. It would be pretty cool if, like, all of a sudden they popped up in a book.
Well, like maybe we should figure this out after the podcast.
Okay.
We'll look this up.
Yeah.
We'll do an
Figure it out.
addendum. I wish when they were flying away,
This
you
is the
saw
la-
the Death Star up in the sky being built. Oh my God, they're together, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like really.
So Teak and Wicket end up together.
Oh my god!
His little
maybe
fast
Teak-
hands get
maybe
put to
Teak- 'cause
use.
Teak can't speak English. Helps Wicket unlearn English,
Right.
and then there you go with Return of the Jedi.
This
Okay.
movie sucks.
Well, hold on, wait. That's what I was gonna say. Is that I want the final segment of the podcast. I want to know what your guys' takeaway is. If you recommend this film to other people or not, Derek, what do you think?
I would never. Actually, no. You know what? I would.
Really? Yeah.
Because I like people to watch bad things.
Yeah, I do too.
I'd be like, watch. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I mean, there
watch.
are some really bad.
But
things
no, it's
out
not
there,
even bad
but
enough
this
to
is
be
not
good.
that-
No,
I'd be like,
watch
watch the Star Wars Christmas special before I'd say watch this.
No, really?
Yes.
That is that. I
What
can
the
watch.
fuck?
I can watch this film all the way
Chewbacca's son Lumpy, who just stares at the screen being like, "Ah!"
through. You want to see that? You want to see that over?
I'd watch that over this because this is dry, boring,
Yeah.
predictable.
This movie, like, I've tried to watch this when I was stoned, and if it's like boring when you're stoned, it's just a bad movie.
And everyone on the back of this VHS who's saying that it's cinematic wizardry and a fucking amazing is full of shit, and they're just trying to get a job with George Lucas.
Yeah, like,
I think I would. For a Star Wars fan, I would recommend this film
well,
because it does have elements.
Would you
of-
recommend this as a preferable prequel to The Phantom Menace? Like, if you want to watch a Star Wars prequel, please watch the Ewok films instead
I
of
think
The
this-
Phantom Menace.
This is probably better than the Phantom.
It probably does less damage because it takes place on like a corner, and you don't see them again until the
Except
end of
for-
Return of the Jedi.
Except for the Obi-Wan like Darth Maul fight, which like I remember having on VHS and like wearing out that section of the tape.
That's so
because
weird.
it
That
was
never
so-
did anything for me.
Didn't do it for
Oh
me.
my god. But I think a casual Star Wars fan and a couch, they would not enjoy this movie at all because
Because no one is like, let me see more of those Ewoks.
no one wants that. It's George Lucas going like, let's milk that shit.
Yeah.
Let's milk that shit.
Because people don't like the reason you watch Star Wars is because of it'd be like doing a thing about the Sand People, which I would watch.
You would watch the Sand People
Or a
spinoff?
Jawa movie. Like that seems more interesting to me.
Make a movie about the Sand People. That sounds great. Let's get on that.
So be it.
So
Jedi.
What's the name of the guy who played Sidious?
Ian McDiarmid.
Ian McDiarmid will be like, let's get him in here. Let's ask him what he thinks.
Well, maybe his body fell down to Endor, and they could do a third one where he's just like, "Where are these teddy bears? Teddy bears, teddy."
He should know that he's getting his empire like taken down by a bunch of teddies. Your allies are a bunch of teddies.
You didn't understand.
I'm afraid. He says that he's afraid that the
deflector shield
will be quite operational
when
the fence arrive.
So I would recommend it for a hardcore Star Wars fan, not for a casual
Can
Star
I
Wars
ask you
fan or
another
anybody
question?
else that doesn't want to
Can I
watch
ask
a
you
shitty
another
movie.
question? Do you recommend movies at the end of each of your podcasts?
Do I
Is
recommend?
the point of this to recommend this movie?
No. The point. I just want to know what your takeaway is.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Derek says no.
If you have a
Jason
fucking
says
wall of
no.
VHS, I would never recommend you start with this movie, ever. There's no trailers. There's nothing good about it that you can just put on and like watch.
Absolutely.
It's fucking for babies who saw Empire or Return of the Jedi and just want to see more of those fucking teddy bears. It's fucking for babies.
It's... All right, you guys. Though that was it. Thank you for listening to our bullshit, and let's drink more beer.
Yeah.
Look at.
This has been a podcast presented by
Mike Kelly.
music provided by
Celebrator.
This shit is free.